Hello and welcome to the next part of our Facebook overview. Today we're going to start with looking at the anatomy of a Facebook post. Then also we're going to look at a couple of differences between personal pages and business brand pages. So let's start here at the anatomy of a Facebook post. I think most people have seen this. And this is a desktop view of the Illich Schools post back from January. Couple of things that I want to point out. One, these are posts generally that you see on Facebook are not going to be, or at least organically, they're not trying to sell you something. And most of the time, people are not interested in buying something that's organically posted. The point of this slide is with all social media and Facebook in particular, it's important to understand that you want to connect with users where they are. You don't want to always be selling them something because that is a textbook way to first lose brand equity with them, but then also kind of lose those key performance metrics on Facebook. What I mean by that is if you had an overly promotional post, you're trying to sell something, nobody's going to stop and look at it. And when people don't stop scrolling, Facebook sees that and they do not deliver your page to more people. There's a variety of elements that the algorithm is looking at, which we'll get into in a couple of slides. But you need to provide value to your audience and always promoting something in terms of money is just not going to cut it. People don't want to see that. But you talk about something that's a little bit more feel good, more informational. That's something what the Illich School is doing in this post, which is why I shared it here. It's not trying to sell anything. It's a nice little look back at 80 years of the business school. But as someone who has been involved with the business school now for 15 years, I can say this is not the best post. I have two issues with it. One is pages with posts that have links in them. They're going to struggle, as we'll see in a couple of slides, but especially having two links in a post, those ones don't usually perform well. But then also you'll see in these photos, you have this large primary photo in the center, and then you have two on the side. This looks like they were all together in one big timeline photo. And unfortunately, the way that you're looking at it in your feed makes it really difficult to understand that because you get one photo on the left as the primary image, then you have two others on the side that are a little bit more difficult to read. If you were looking at them individually, and if you click on a photo, it'll pop out, then you'll see it, and then you click like the next button, and you'll see the next one. That might look okay, but in terms of a visual that is scroll stopping and actually capturing attention, this is not it. The number one thing about a Facebook post is you got to catch people's attention. People aren't going to read every post that they see on their feed. And so if you use visuals like the Illich School correctly did here, you've got to have a visual that is actually going to do its job and stop people in their tracks. So I do want to take a moment, though, and look at the differences between profiles and pages. Personal profiles, that's what we all have individually. That's our names. That is what we've had for years, right? I've had it for 20 years. And we make friends. We connect with friends. I've probably only connected with, less than 10 people over each year over the last 5 years. But still, you have a friends list. And the content that you put out there is almost always organic. You just open up the little editor, you create your post. Then you have pages. Those are really reserved for brands, and it is possible for people to use them. If you think about like the big ones, Gary Vee, Mr. Beast, those are obviously brands in themselves. But when we think about pages, those are more for actual companies. There is a professional mode available to existing profiles where if you want to turn your page into your personal profile into something a little bit more For creators, you can do that, which you can switch your personal page to professional mode. But that's separate. Still a different type of page. And really, the point of professional mode is really because you want to be a creator. You get a little bit more analytics. You get a little bit more. You get more abilities to advertise, to create more content. So, and it's funny because I actually looked up what is Facebook calling these creator pages. They do call it Facebook for creators, and they claim that this is also where you can monetize your content. That will be coming later in the semester because really, for brands to like this course is not about monetizing your content, but if you ever wanted to do that, creating a Facebook for creator page is the way to go. They call it a professional account. Then we have this other confusing thing called followers. We know what followers are. That's what you do now. If you're on Facebook, you go to a page, Facebook page, you click follow it at the end, right? You see their updates occasionally. That's it. But you'll also notice that there are likes, and then there might be subscribers. Likes are the legacy edition of following a page. That is the classic thumbs up thing where you'd like see a page and you're like, oh yeah, I like that. You see a lot of sports teams have tons of likes back in the day. But these likes are essentially getting phased out. So for example, I liked the Detroit Tigers back in 2006. They were on top of the world. They almost won the World Series. They were in the World Series. I gave them a like back then. I still have it. I gave them that like. It didn't go away. But I didn't technically follow them because that was not the terminology. It was, for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing, but it was different. So those do exist differently. Meta is really transitioning to an exclusive Facebook model because then they also will allow for subscribers. Subscribers is a paid version usually. And it's more for creators, that creator account, but you can also use that with a Facebook page because that's where you can offer subscriber exclusive options like posts, videos. I believe you can even create some version of a private group for a small committed group. Again, this is what Facebook is utilizing. You don't see a lot of people yet doing the subscriber bit yet. They are out there. There are some. But generally, you see, this is an opportunity for people to monetize their Facebook following. And a lot of people simply aren't doing it yet because Facebook is not the number one organic platform for their brand. Now, the last slide I want to address here for this video is the Facebook algorithm. There are really three big things that I look at with the algorithm. As you'll see in the next slide, though, page content is only shown to 3% of your followers or less. It's very small. And even to get that much, you have to really abide by those invisible rules. First, you have the links. Any external link is a huge red flag. If you put a link to YouTube on a Facebook post for your page, that post is never going to see the light of day. Facebook wants you to upload your videos to Facebook or Instagram. They want you to stay on the platform. They want people scrolling to stay on Facebook because they can sell more ads. Two, videos help. The reels are big, and photos are still key. Those are the two things that stop the scroll, but they need a hook. They need to really catch people. Photos like the ones that I showed you in the Illich School post are not the best. And the more you can do to really capture people's attention immediately, the better off you are because that then leads to engagements. Engagements are pretty key because it's the only way that Facebook's going to deliver your post to a larger audience of people. This is really a social media wide thing because this is the first platform we're talking about. I think it's kind of worth setting the stage. Your posts from your brand need to get engagements. That's not just likes, that's comments, that's shares, like through messaging. That is watching a video in full, that's looking at a photo by clicking on it and popping it out. There are a lot of different ways that Facebook measures engagements. And as long as you can have interactive opportunity where people are doing more than just scrolling by, then your page will be in a good spot. Now I'm going to pause there, and we have one more here about Facebook, and really kind of getting into the flip side of this, in that, why are Facebook pages struggling? Because that is really the elephant in the room that I want to address. And if you've ever worked on a Facebook page before, you know that that is the case, and that's where we're gonna go in our last video. So as always, feel free to reach out. I know we kept this pretty high level, but again, that is kind of where we are here. Is I like to look at these social media platforms from a strategy perspective, not from just creating content.